Indian Rhinos. Beautiful Indian Rhinos. Hello, friendlings. This is Claude from Chicago, and today we're doing a unique Indian Rhino build here in Planet Zoo on FredTopia Zoo. And I know many of you are going to enjoy this, especially Scary, so make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, because all subscribers and people that comment on these videos do have an opportunity for their animal to make it into the exhibits. So today, as you see, we are making an Indian Rhino habitat, and we are going to be using a lot of the Indian pieces, so this blends in very, very well, and it is a unique building, like I said. So we actually do completely custom walls and arches in this build, something that I have not been able to do very much in Planet Zoo, but I did do a lot of in Planet Coaster. Here is the sample wall here. This was live streamed on Twitch with the links in the description of this video. But besides that, we made this very basic template of a wall, and from there we just sort of duplicate it and customly turn it around and around and around. You can make this a blueprint, or you can just select the wall that you already had there and just duplicate that across. But you do have to split it from a section if you do continue to build on that same palette. So it takes some time to practice and learn, but you can make your buildings so much nicer because you can get custom curves and all that. Now, I was not the perfect curvesman in this, and you do see a little bit of footage cut out because I forgot to record it, but for the remainder of those walls, I took out one section of that wall, 50% of what we were just duplicating, and then just filled in those gaps that were there, so that's how we got that perfect curve. So sorry about that, that was not in there. I had a lot of recording issues while doing this on stream. Now, this is a curved building slash viewing area slash habitat, so we wanted to give it a curved sort of housing area, the backstage area for the Indian Rhinos. This was suggested by Liam on stream, which is our top bit donation giver and subscriber so far on Twitch, so thank you so much once again. But this is what we do. So we do original square design, as I do for 99% of my builds. And then he said, hey, change it out the curve because we're going with this curve design. And I think it actually turned out quite well, because if you haven't played Planet Zoo or Planet Coaster, there are a lot of pieces in this game that do not match, especially roof pieces. I still don't understand why they do that, but you can make them work together. This is not an example of that, but just to be aware that if you're working on a different habitat for a different animal, you might not have all the pieces, so it's always good to take a look at it before you start building. I do want to give this a little bit of a different design up at the top, so we do put a little square indent in there as well. Add a little water pond in there, another curved C or U, depending on which angle you look at it. Obviously, I like to add as much color into my builds as possible. This is done with plant work, with toys, with water specifically, because it breaks up that green and gives a nice dark blue or a reflection of the surrounding areas, which can give even more color, like, for example, there, red wall. Another thing we do is take some soil, some rough soil and smooth soil, and we put that in there just so it breaks up the color even more, making those brown dark colors. And now we're going to go into the plants, which is my favorite part of doing anything in Planet Zoo, and I forgot to record it, of course. With that aside, we do decide to use different trees every other one, and then put some reeds in between it just to break it up, because it's like real life. There's strength in numbers, but giving diversity inside of a habitat will allow there to be difference, just in case. Like in the city of Chicago, they would plant different trees on every block, just in case if a tree bug came through and accidentally killed one species of trees, which has happened before. The same thing can be here. So just in case if all these flowers did die, there would be different trees that could hold in, and vice versa. Shouldn't happen, because the guests do not have the ability to go into the habitats, but you know, you never know with all these strange things. On the interior here, we keep it basic and add in a couple of these rug painting things. I don't know what you would call them. Those beautiful art pieces in there just to give it up. And then we find these pennants that we hang from the arches when you come on in. On the outside of the building, before we do the roof, we do put in some posters of the Indian animals, I guess is what you would call them. On the outside, you'll see me do that in a couple minutes right now. we do duplicate some of these, and I'm not sure if they're all in the game, but I'm assuming they are. But in this sort of curved area in the back, I want to do an Indian style where everything in here is curved habitat. I think on the opposite side of the Indian Rhino will be the Indian Elephant, which is going to have probably the majority of the room, and then coming on the bottom. Now this here, this is probably the best thing that we have built so far, because we add these little bit of Disney-esque forced perspective details, because obviously this window and this building you wouldn't be able to stand inside in real life. Maybe you could, but it's more of a fake thing here for like just for show. We decided to use some octagon pieces, those windows, and then we use a nice detail block up here. Now, I do not know why I think this reminds me of the chocolate Taj Mahal from the Willy Wonka with, I can't remember his name, I just wrote it down. The guy from Jack Sparrow, whatever his real name is, I can't remember it off the top of my head. I know who he is, but it reminds me of the chocolate Taj Mahal from Willy Wonka, the new one. So I know it's not, but it does. Now over here, we decide to attach these buildings with these color fabric, which could be changed out during festive times in like normal Indian culture and tradition. So you could always change it up so it's not the same. Just really does depend on if we get our workers up there. This could also be a permanent rendition, where it couldn't be permanent because they are made of fabric, and of course it's going to rain outside. Now you did see a little bit earlier, I did delete glass windows from those mini windows we made. Guests will not see through glass, and we figured that out earlier today with the other habitat we had. To break up the color just a little bit more, we decided to put in some more rock features here that just sink them into the ground, so it's not perfectly perfect, just so there's a little bit of a variety. But this has been a fantastic build so far, and there's just a little bit more details that I did want to do. I was thinking about adding in some dead trees and stuff like that. Didn't decide to keep them because it was just a little bit too much. And then here we add in some lily pads, and I saw the sakura tree that I was planning on putting in, but of course I cannot incorporate a sakura tree into all the cherry blossoms. Found some poison ivy, or regular ivy, and put them on the walls up here to give us a nice different color of green, a very dark green, and then added in some more reeds on the other side. Now, of course, I find always a good spot to put in a sakura tree, and I see a lot of times in real zoos, at least the zoos that I go in, there's always like these pond areas or these relaxing areas, sections between each other habitat, and I wanted to make that here by just incorporating all the trees and the plant life from the Indian habitat and moving them over here, the Indian Rhino habitat, because it seems like it fits in. Adding in some of the large trees we wouldn't be able to do because of the small habitat. It is a big habitat, but just so we could. And then this little bit of detail, adding these into your zoo and stuff like that, it breaks it up, and then we add in a side path down here. Not sure how many guests will truly come down here unless we put a waypoint or something. This is sort of like you would come out for a picnic and sort of like hang out and relax with the family. But I do believe this is the best part. Adding these little lily pads into the water, the perfect sun glare, and the shade, and just the color as well. But of course, we gotta find the sakura tree and some of these beautiful pink flowers. I just do think I'm not a big fan of wearing pink in real life, but I am a big fan of the pink in nature because of how like rare it is. You would not catch me wearing pink, by the way, guys. Just letting y'all know. But I do like it here in this thing. So I'll see you in a second in the live section. I hope you enjoyed that time lapse here today. It has been a fantastic build. I was talking about it so much on stream. I felt very calm and bliss, even though I have so much other stuff to do. But this build is the Indian Rhino build suggested by Scary. And I built something actually that I did not need to do, but this is the reason why I started playing these creative games like Planet Zoo and Planet Coaster, is just these little bit of details. In the city zoos that I've been to, is they got all these really small details in the parks that are very nice and calming and just open. There's nothing to see, just maybe random birds or other stuff. I mean, you can even see that door back there. We can add a couple more pieces of brush, but it's a very nice and calming area here. You can sit by the bench, have a picnic with the family. You know, calm water pond. You hear the little water sound effects as well. But we can continue going over here. I just love this. I just love this. I know I wasn't going to put a cherry blossom, but just that's the cake on top of this. But then we move over to the Indian Rhino habitat, and I'm going to show you the outside before we go on the inside. And Liam said I did quite a fantastic job on this build. He actually said he liked these little bits of details here. Made this a custom piece with some fabric over here. But this is the Indian area, and I want to add in 2 more Indian animals because there's 2 more left. The Indian elephant as well as the Indian peafowl. They will be going over here somewhere. Or on this side, I'm still not sure, but there's not much guests coming down here right now because there's not a lot to do except for just sitting in this habitat. But when you come on inside, you see the beautiful, beautiful Indian rhinos just swimming in the water. It's wherever you look, it just looks very nice. And I know this kind of blends in back here, this door, but remember there would be like a nice metal door so you could shut it during the day or at night, whatever. But this is nice and green, lush. There's a bunch of toys the animals will use. As well as there's like little arts on the wall and seats. These are really comfy seats, it looks like. Would love to sit down over here. But here is the Indian Rhino. Just chilling. Look at this. Ugh. Just beautiful. And I've read some facts from the game that the Indian rhinos love mud baths, like a lot of animals, because it helps protect against insects, helps them stay calm. The horn is made out of the same keratin our fingernails and hair are from. Those are the facts within Planet Zoo itself. Well, I found the fact page for the Indian rhinoceros, and there's not very many of them left, but they're on the vulnerable list. There's roughly 2,575 left in the wild today. Very sad, but, you know, not extremely endangered. Here is where they can be found in the map in real life, but not very many places, as you see. And another fun fact that I found was Indian rhino, or women Indian rhinos, will whistle at their mates to get their attention. And here's the mud bath. But this is the inside of the habitat, as you clearly see. It's really nice. I love the gold. I love the ribbon, the flowers and that stuff. There's nice greenery. This is one of my favorite exterior habitats in the zoo. It's just something that I didn't think we were going to do. And I think every episode we do challenge ourselves to push ourselves even farther than what we've done. Now, the interior is always just a little bit bland because we haven't been doing too many interiors, but that is because we just haven't been working on that so far. But I want to thank you so much, Fredlings, for watching this epic time-lapse video of the Indian rhinoceros today. On screen right now, you will see the next animals you can choose from. So make sure you comment down below. And if you don't see my comment which one you want to see next. We're going to jump into some glamour shot, Fredlings, and we'll see you next time. And remember, a real Fredling makes their own luck.